Live?
We're live.
Oh, man.
What's up, cloud gamers? Welcome to another episode of CGX Cast. We're just going to be talking about the state of cloud gaming, with Google Stadia shutting down. What does that mean for cloud gaming? Also, with Amazon Luna losing a bunch of games and with GFN 4080 tier releasing, we're going to check the hype levels, see if people are actually excited for that 4080 tier. But my guest co-host, if you want to call it that, we have Purple Haze here. What up, Purple? How are you?
Hey, Ace. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
It's cool to get this finally going. We've been trying to make this happen for quite some time. So yeah, it's good to finally get you on one of these. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I'm still trying to get over the sore throat. So,
Yeah.
but overall, pretty good. Yourself?
Okay. I'm not too bad. I'm not too bad. Excited to be talking about gaming, especially cloud gaming. So yeah, you're pretty knowledgeable. So I think this will be a good conversation.
See.
So yeah, we'll give it a go. But let's start with Google Stadia, right? This
Oh,
was the
man.
year. You're good. This was the year that they said they were going to shut down. This is the month, and it's been official, right? The shutdown, but they give us some pretty cool stuff with the Bluetooth support for the controllers, and they give us the warm game, right? How are you feeling about that? What do you think that means for cloud gaming as a whole? The fact that Google Stadia is officially shut down, and just what are your thoughts about them enabling Bluetooth support as well, and how they just ended the whole service?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Stadia is one of my top three favorite platforms of all time. And so, sad to see it go, just the convenience of it.
Yeah,
And obviously it had its problems. Like I'm not gonna say like, oh, it was amazing. Like there were things about it. Other things had better graphics, more games, and so forth. But it really suited my gaming needs. So
yeah,
I'm sad about that. Um, but I think someone captured it right. One of the beat reporters said, Stadia basically did everything wrong except shutting down. Right? Like they did
ooh,
that probably like
yeah,
right.
yeah,
Like you know, they communicated, they came through with their what they said they were going to do. If you
yeah.
still have not gotten your refund, uh, please reach out to some people. You have not gotten it,
Still
Ace.
waiting for some. Yeah,
Okay, so obviously, they're
yeah,
still working through it. But no, it's kind of they had an amazing team there at Stadia,
yeah,
and um, and I would be remiss if I did not mention a lot of the Stadia team was laid off last Friday.
yeah,
So like that is a real deal. Like some of the people we would talk about and say they lost their jobs.
yeah,
So
yeah.
um,
It's really sad to
no,
think
it's
about
it's
that.
just really sad.
Yeah,
And these were some of the people who were thick and thin with
yeah,
the platform. So as sad as I am, I understand like some people's livelihoods
right.
are at risk. But overall, I think the Bluetooth controller, great, awesome. To have another controller. I think I have my Wasabi one not too far away from me. Um, I
Did
think
you
it like
enable Bluetooth for that one?
I enabled Bluetooth. No, I kept my black and my Wasabi
Okay,
are Wi-Fi. The white one I
okay,
did the Bluetooth.
okay, cool.
Um, so yeah. But what about you? I mean, like obviously you were kind of there in the beginning.
Yeah. So some people make fun, especially like within the people I work with, CGX. Like I'm known as the Stadia guy, right? They've all moved on, so it was hard. It was rough. We kind of predicted it.
We
So
made a bet on it.
we did make the bet, and I have to say, I was telling the guys like, kudos to you for keeping to your end of
It was
this
like the
because
first hour. Like
yeah,
I was like, I gotta pay
yeah.
you and Maker.
Oh, Maker too.
Yeah,
What's
Maker.
crazy? Like, I totally forgot about that bet until you said something. I was like, oh wow, oh shoot, we
Nah,
did
it's
make a
all I
bet.
got. It's all I have is my word. So you
But
know.
no, shout outs to you and respect for keeping your word there. But Yeah, so it was tough. It was tough. There's still, I say this all the time. When it comes to Stadia, there's still nothing like it. Like shout outs to GFNs, to shout outs to like the 4080 tier. But there's just something about like the simplicity of booting Stadia up and just playing. It's the closest thing to like a console experience that you'll find in the cloud. And so that aspect of things, it's gonna be missed for sure. And it was kind of the easiest one to recommend, right? When you think about
Can
cloud
see.
gaming, it's like Stadia, really. And so I can't tell you how many people like I put in Stadia, my cousins, my brother, a lot of people. So now, not having that de facto cloud gaming service to recommend people to, it sucks and it's difficult. But I have to say, something that I realized with the closing of Stadia is just how passionate the people who are working on this platform was to this. And I feel like Google seriously screwed a lot of things up. I feel like the Stadia team really wanted this platform to work out. And you can tell by the commitment, they didn't have to enable Bluetooth support. They didn't have to give us that game, but they did. And just like it shows like how cool they were and like how passionate they were about this project. So that sucks. And like you were stating, a lot of people lost their job who used to work for Google Stadia. So that sucks as well. But yeah, I did want to ask you though, when it comes to like cloud gaming in 2023 with Stadia shutting down, what does that derail? Okay, does that hold back the potential of cloud as a whole? There's a couple of things I'm seeing. That's why I'm asking this question. When it comes to like competition, right? We're not seeing the competitors be except GFN, but Xbox Cloud Gaming I feel like is slowing down. Amazon Luna losing games. But do you feel like with them being out of the picture, that kind of is gonna slow the growth of cloud gaming in 2023 and moving forward even?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I think it's a question of did it cause it, or is it just a symptom of something bigger,
Yeah.
right? And I think it's easy to say, oh, Stadia shut down, and then everybody, this has slowed it down, right? Or this has slowed down the competition. Um, but for me, I think uh, for sure you see it across the board. You see last year at this time it was all about xCloud, cloud and competition.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so like yeah, I think that, that's there's no question it slowed down, right? So
Yeah. Okay. So, do you see someone kind of making the push to take, the reign of the best cloud game service going forward?
I mean, I think it depends on what you define as the best cloud service, right? I think when we talked about Stadia, I really liked how you highlight it was basically a cloud console,
Yeah,
right? It probably had a better console experience than Switch, right? When you think
yeah,
about
seriously.
you could argue on a lot of things, especially when they started bringing out party streaming and
Yeah,
party chat and just how easy it is to jump into games. It rivaled
yeah,
basically any platform.
right.
Um, and so is that what we're talking about? Or are we just talking about like playing a game in the cloud? Is that what we're talking about? Like, you know,
So,
I
yeah, when you say playing a game in cloud, what are you talking about? Like cloud exclusive games or just cloud
no,
gaming?
right. So playing a game in the cloud, like I think of that as GFN, right?
Yeah.
GFN gives you the ability to play a game like Steam in the
Hmm.
cloud,
Yeah.
right? And then like Luna is probably like um yeah, you can play games in the cloud, but it's like a certain library. It's like a almost a Stadia light in a lot of ways. One thing with cloud gaming that we're seeing, and if you kind of heard all those different iterations of cloud gaming, the one thing about them is they're all an add-on to something else, another part of the business. Even GFN, as great as it is still it's kind of a marketing for its hardware. Luna is an add-on to Prime. Um, XCloud is an add-on to Game Pass, and so do I see any of them leading? Not necessarily. I I think whatever Stadia saw, or that team, or I don't think it was the Stadia team, right? I think whatever Google decision makers saw, the rest of them are seeing as well. Um, and I don't know if that's from a publisher standpoint, a consumer standpoint, a technology like all the above, but I think they're seeing the same thing and re-evaluating that investment at the moment.
Yeah. That's a great point, and the differentiation that you made about like the console versus using a service to play games that you're already on like GFN. Um, I think that's a fair assessment, and I think Stadia did that well, like being that console um in the cloud. Okay, cool. Any last words for Stadia? Like if for
Oh man, like
for
you know,
for people who rode with the platform, for the devs who probably might watch this, like what do
eh,
you have to say like
I
about the
think
platform?
like I'm glad I experienced it because I think it was like an answer. If we went back and look, we asked for Stadia. I
Yeah,
want to remind people, go back to 2012, go back to 10, 11, 12 years ago.
yeah,
We asked for Stadia.
yeah,
It delivered.
yeah,
It didn't have all the games and stuff, but that wasn't for a lack of trying. The
mhm.
tech work, it was smooth, and be if you played it, you're part of history, and you'll always be able to say that.
Yeah, that's true. If you have your founders too, right? Just hold up to
Yeah,
that.
I still have a founder
Yeah.
still wrapped up.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I have a rounders wrapped up. I have another. What was the one that came with the Chromecast?
The yeah,
Premiere.
the premiere
I have
edition.
a
Yeah,
Premiere edition wrapped up, so I will always
that's
cherish
awesome.
those.
They're gonna worth hopefully one day, like if you have it all sealed up still.
Oh, I mean, it's going to. I think the only thing I'll say is so many personalities in the media and big time, you know, podcasters and so forth are now saying like, "Oh, it worked," and blah blah blah.
Yeah,
It's like, where
yeah.
were
It's a
you?
little too late now.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
no, but it
yeah,
is what it is.
yeah. Let me ask you this though, actually. What do you think Stadia did wrong? Like where do you think it went south and led to them closing?
To tell you the truth, I'm not. They made. I think Stadia was at the wrong. It was the wrong platform at the wrong time,
Yeah.
right? When because we said it was kind of like a console.
Hmm.
And if we look at the different versions of gaming,
Hmm.
mobile, PC,
Yeah.
VR, AR,
Yeah.
console, at worst, consoles, or at best, console is stagnated market.
Yeah.
At worst, it's a declining market.
Yeah.
So where are you getting? Who's your market? Who's your customer? Well, who can you pick up? And
Mm,
I think that at its core, the team couldn't do anything about that.
mhm.
Some people would say you didn't market it well. And what I always look at is like, we'll probably talk about it here in a second. Luna, Luna, you cannot have a Fire Stick TV
Yeah.
or go on Twitch without seeing a Luna commercial,
Right.
and that is two gamers,
Yeah.
and you don't see it being adopted,
Yeah.
right? So I'm like, was that it? It didn't have the games. Well, they had some of the top selling
Yeah.
games, right?
I
Like, and if you saw that moving the needle, maybe, but I mean, Destiny was the biggest one, and even Destiny wasn't, pushing, and that was a free to play one. So it's
yeah.
like maybe that added to it. Ultimately, though, where I think Stadia went wrong, and this may come out, a documentary in 5, 10 20 years, you have to think that somewhere along the line, very early, whatever the problems that Stadia went to solve from a business perspective for Google,
Mm,
right? And people talk about the business case, so it didn't sell games. Retail and gaming is not a booming business. Like, go look at GameStop. Go look at that's not where you make your money. So to say like, oh, you would have more subscribers, and that's really not what they were looking at,
yeah,
right? It had to probably feed in somewhere to their core business,
yeah,
and somewhere along the line, they realized it didn't, you
yeah,
know.
yeah,
Um, and I think that ultimately was it. Is that the hypothesis didn't pan out? Something on that side of things.
yeah. That's a good point. From a business perspective, I think Stadia did make sense to Google as like the father Google company. Um, and to me personally, I feel like that's why they didn't get the support. I mean, you look
Yeah,
at Microsoft, right? Uh, what was said in Nadell, I can never say his name, the CEO, and Phil Spencer. You see them like always like in sync with how much Xbox means to Microsoft. I don't think Google and the Stadia team connected that way. It's like, can this project make us money? And if it can't, then it's time to exit. And from the spending that they were doing to acquire these games and get these exclusives on get these games on the platform. I feel like to Google it just didn't make sense financially, and that might be, kind of why they pulled the
sure.
plug. But like you were saying, 5 years down the line, the documentary is gonna come
It's
out with
gonna come out. We're gonna see cowboys
all
somehow
that.
on it. Like I already can see it. It's gonna be some other
Ah,
people that we've never heard
oh
of
man.
are gonna be on it. It's I already got
Yeah, this is gonna be crazy, but yeah.
it.
All right, cool. Good to talk about Google Stadia again. Give it its fair farewell.
We're always gonna come back to
Oh
it.
yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
We're,
For sure. It's the platform that kind of kicked off cloud gaming for a lot of people. So
yeah.
but yeah, let's talk about Amazon Luna. As you know, they lost about 40 games last year, and next month, February, they're gonna lose another 20 some games. And then this today, actually, they announced the February games, and it was like two indie games and I think another Yakuza game. But where do you think, by the way, Luna's still only available in the United States too.
No.
Let's just keep that. But what do you think is gonna happen to this platform in 2023
In 2023,
this year? Yeah.
I mean, I think we talked about this before,
Mhm.
which was like Google's never shut down a consumer facing product. Amazon has,
Yeah.
like, so I think
Let the people know which product did they shut down?
Fire Phone,
Oh.
you know,
Oh.
they
That's
just said
right.
they're pulling back on their Alexa devices. They said that last year.
They pulled
Um,
back on Alexa. I didn't hear about that. That's
yeah,
happening.
well, all of the smart ones. I haven't heard anything about Siri, but I do know um,
Wow.
both. They're all pulling back on that, like their third party smart device division. Uh, I mean, they have a history of like if something has not worked, they will pull it or they'll fold it into something else or
Yeah.
just like all the tech companies do.
Right.
But I don't think it's a good if you're a Luna fan,
Mhm.
right? Or you're someone who's like, hey, they're about to expand. I don't think you look at this and have a lot of confidence. Like I would say
Yeah.
the writing's on the wall, and they're probably. I would be surprised. To me, it's like a dead man walking almost.
Do you see them being the next Stadia in
No,
2020?
no,
No?
I never thought they were gonna be Stadia. I
No, I
never
mean,
thought.
like, dying. The like, shutting down completely the platform.
I mean, I could see it. I'm not gonna say I could see it either way. I think though that you probably have seen the high mark of Luna.
Yeah.
I'll say it like that.
Okay.
Um,
Dag, that's crazy. If that's the because the high mark was decent, but like let's be real, it wasn't like revolutionary or groundbreaking. So if that's the high mark of Luna, then my goodness.
I mean, it is. I think here's the thing though. I think Luna knew exactly the same thing as Stadia knew when Stadia knew it, but we're in beta and just had to release something
What was that then that Stadia knew that Luna knew?
that the market wasn't there. That publishers didn't necessarily want this,
Yeah,
right? Like, oh, by the way, publishers still don't understand how cloud gaming helps them,
yeah,
right? I think that in that the the market, like customers, like let's be real, like who was Stadia's core market? Like middle-aged people,
yeah.
like right, like us who are probably like early adult, mid adult on up,
Hmm.
who are gamer. That was their market.
Yeah,
Anybody who's like in retail will tell you that's not the market you're targeting,
yeah.
right? Like, like usually you kind of want to be with that younger one so you can grow with them, right?
Hmm.
That's what makes Nintendo so valuable.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
and so I think they saw that games as a service is kind of where that's where the money is right now in gaming.
Yeah,
Platform streaming, it's extremely expensive.
yeah,
And how do you create an ecosystem that
yeah.
everyone wins?
So we make fun of Luna for being in beta for as long as they have been before they came out of beta, but I like what you said about they knew what Google Stadia knew in beta, and that makes sense. Maybe that's what prolonged the beta, for
Yeah,
some reason.
I honestly think it. We're not even going to talk. There is another one who is still in beta, who's been in beta just as long as any of the others.
Ooh.
Uh, XCloud, is XCloud not in beta?
It's still oh shoot, that's true.
It's
It's
right,
still in
right. It's
beta,
still
yeah.
in beta. It's been in beta, I
Wow.
think, longer than any of them. So, like, let's not. I
Yeah,
mean, these are hats off to these teams. Like anybody who ever says that they worked on Luna, Stadia, minus Phil Harrison, I am going to give them, like, I'm going to follow them. Like, if you said you worked on that platform in cloud, I know you were working with a bad hand, right? Like
yeah,
you were bluffing your entire way because I'm pretty sure the higher ups outside of gaming were like, what the hell are you doing?
yeah,
So,
yeah,
but with Luna, I mean, I hope it stays.
yeah,
Like I always, as long as you're gaming, if you can game somewhere, I hope it stays.
yeah. It's
But
Yeah,
I don't know.
it's interesting when Stadia tweeted that they were going. I think it was Shaka something wrote something like Luna purple hearted it, and um, but I was like, man, y'all might be next.
Oh, they know it. They all know each other. Like some of
Yeah,
them were at Stadia before it went to Luna. They can see. And we mentioned Shaka. We talked about some of the people who are no longer at Google who were there with us thick and thin. Shout out to Grace.
yeah,
She
yeah,
posted that she lost her job, but
yeah,
she
yeah.
was
It's
an amazing community
really sad.
ambassador for Stadia, so, our manager. So, but yeah, and they were right. We heard on the Amazon layoffs that Luna's team got hit.
Yeah,
So, you just hate to see it.
yeah.
It's just weird how this is all going down. That just short order ago they were
My goodness.
the disruptors,
Yeah,
and now, um, also I don't think these two are leaving cloud gaming, but that's a different conversation. What is cloud gaming versus cloud game streaming? But I definitely think that it's just a crazy turn of events in a very short time.
Yeah, very short time. I think very short time. So Amazon Luna, like I'm rooting for them, right? Any cloud game platform that's still available, and uh I'm rooting for them. I feel like we didn't even halfway see the potential, right? The big thing
Not
for them was,
even.
yeah, subscription, right? We've always talked about like an EA subscription, Capcom subscription. They did it with Ubisoft, but just stopped there, right? Um, but yeah, and they have the couch feature. They have so many cool things, going for this platform. But yeah, just the way things are looking with games leaving, and then just not having a true roadmap for 2023. It's kind of concerning. And something people forget is like at this time, this is when like Stadia will give us the 2023 roadmap, and then Luna will give us the 2023 roadmap. We're not seeing that from from them this year. And even the Xbox Cloud Gaming would give us like a roadmap around this time. So far, the only person who has is GFM with the 4080 tier, but still not like an official roadmap. But it's them saying like we're taking cloud seriously this year. But man, I hope that we're wrong about Amazon Luna, but it is not looking good for that platform. Just honestly
I
speaking.
mean, can you believe this in like a year? Like we were
I
talking,
know.
like it is like I think that's where we had first met was talking
Yeah,
about Luna and
Luna.
cloud game about a year ago, and oh my gosh,
It's crazy.
it's shocking. But
Yeah, it really is. So with that Luna out of the way, let's talk about GFN. As you guys know, they released their 4080 tier. I have some things about this, but I'm curious to hear what you have to say about it, Purple. And what I might have to say might surprise you guys because you guys might think I'm all for GFN 4080, but yeah, I got some things to say about this.
oh,
Yeah.
look at his
So
sweater, y'all. Look at his sweater, y'all. He's got a
oh
oh,
man, but yeah. So
no.
what's your take on the 4080? Like, are you excited about that announcement?
Yeah, I think I'm excited about it. It doesn't necessarily surprise me,
Okay.
right? I think just like next year, as soon as they come out with the newer GPU, like eventually, oh, by the way, I believe they are going to up their price of the ultimate tier this year. Like, I don't think that's by any coincidence, but
Yeah.
yeah, I think like GFN, if you listen to Nvidia, they say that GFN is there to be a gateway to people to buy their hardware.
Hmm.
Not necessarily, we're not just talking about GPUs, but guess what? When they say they have uh, the ultimate tier that can run 4K 240 or whatever it is,
Hmm.
people are going to be like, oh, I want to see that. What do they need to get? They need to get a monitor. What
Okay.
are they going to probably get? One of those monitors that say
Yeah. Yeah.
NVIDIA G-Sync or whatever it says, right?
Hmm.
Uh, and so, like, I think that's all their play. And so, yeah, but with that said, I play probably the most on GFN right now. Like, if it's a game I really want to play, especially a bigger size game,
Yeah.
I play on GFN.
That's cool. Now that you said that, like GFN being a gateway for Nvidia to showcase their, latest graphics card, I wouldn't be because the release of the 4080 on GFN is actually closer to the release of the 4080 like graphics card. Um so I'm curious to see if the next announcement upgrade to, whatever they want to call it, 5080 or whatever this year, right? Not like we need a 50, but 5080. I'm interested to see if they'll actually release it instead of like when for the next CES to release it in GFN. If it'll release like back to back with the announcement of the next like 5080 tier, and that'll be a good indication of, okay, you know Nvidia is really trying to, if you can't afford buying this physically at this store, this is another option for you to see what this actually looks like. And from the performance with the reflex that they are showcasing in DLSS 3, the performance is really getting close to like local now. So I'm wondering if that's like the goal with this, right? When they announce a new physical graphics card to have cloud ready for release too. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out for sure. But
Yeah.
let me ask you this. You talked about like gaming and GFN. This is one of the biggest gripe I have with GFN right now, is the fact that they are PC focused and they're not getting the games. Like that's the comments.
Always the game. Always the
The
game.
bangers, like
Bangers.
that's
There we go. I knew it. We got it.
yeah. Those are
Let
the
me take a
comments.
shot. He said bangers.
So like in the comments, like today alone, Thursday, right? We put on the GFN Thursday news video, and like two or three comments, people like, well, 4080 sounds great, but what the hell are the games? And that is my so this week alone, we had Forsaken come out. We have Dead Space coming out tonight, tomorrow. And then we had that Hi-Fi Rush game. None of those games are in GFN. And it's just like, what? Like the thing with that also is EA is Dead Space, so EA games are in GFN, and then Square Enix uh has their games on GFN already, and that's the makers of Forspoken. I keep saying Forsaken, Forspoken. So it's like, why in the heck are those games not on GFN? And so give us all the 4080 tier you want. Like that stuff. The 3080 is good enough for me, realistically speaking. Give me the games. Give me the games. That's all I'm asking for.
I-
So with that being said, what are your thoughts about that?
Well, I think it's just the same thing that we just talked about.
Yeah.
Like, I think what GFN looks at is that if they were to give you all the games
Hmm.
on the cloud, oh, by the way, GFN in itself is not properly profitable, right? Like, I
Hmm.
think you have to get to that understanding that it
You said
costs a
it's
little.
not profitable.
Like, I think if you go look at it, like, it's not like they're just going, oh, we're getting super profitability. Like, to stream the games at that fidelity for that long
Hmm.
costs money.
Yeah. True.
And unlike on Stadia, where the publishers were like flipping the bill on that, GFN's not built like that.
Hmm.
They're flipping the bill. It's part of their like probably their marketing budget for their hardware.
Hmm.
And so thinking of that, like they don't want to give you the games, right? They want you to eventually say, okay, you're right there. You because everybody for the Black Friday sale or the November sale, people were throwing down $100 to get $200 worth of GFN credit, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
right. So you're kind of getting close to now being in that next tier to afford a decent GPU.
Yeah.
Like if you can afford 100 and pull that together, and
Yeah.
potentially, and that was for 6 months, which could you do for two? Once you're at two, you're really close to three. I think that's their way to get you there. And if
Interesting.
if you want to play day and date at the best fidelity, um, what you experienced in their ultimate 3080 tier, go buy their graphics card, and you
Hmm.
will play all of it at that time.
Yeah.
But if you're like, oh, I'm trying to do it on not play it there, like not from a cloud gaming perspective, but from a perspective that I can't buy a rig, well, you're probably also not a premier buyer of day and date games. You're
Yeah.
probably waiting for sales. And at that time, you're going to get older games on GFN.
Huh. Nicely put. Interesting.
I don't know,
Interesting.
pushback. Ace, come on, you
Okay.
tell me. I know you are like you want these bangers. So I mean, but
I
how do you feel about like? I mean, you get to play your bangers though, right? We know.
what bangers am I playing right now on
Oh well,
GFN?
we're talking cloud right now. We can talk about the Steam Deck. You do
Oh,
have
okay.
we know
Okay.
we see your other stuff.
Yeah.
We're,
Yeah.
but I think that's what they would say.
Yeah. Yeah. So the thing with the Steam Deck is I love it. There's a lot of great things about it, the portability aspect. But the truth of, so there's a device coming out tomorrow, which I'm excited to get, the Razer Edge, right?
Getting a device. Who would have thought? I could just see your family now. Seriously.
Oh man. So I'm excited to try that because again, it has like the newest one of the newest like mobile processor in it, and it has I believe a 1440p and 165 hertz. So for GFN it's gonna be beautiful. Um so the thing is like with having that, if I had the ability to get the games that the Steam Deck has on it, I personally would use that more than the Steam Deck, because the reason I use the Steam Deck is because again, I can't play these games with cloud settings unless like I'm using Shadow PC. But if I can, it's gonna look better on that device. It's a 1440 p, 2K screen, 165, refresh rate. That's a better screen than the Steam Deck, and then with cloud, the graphics are gonna look better. Um, but again, I probably will not be using a lot because they are the biggest thing is the games, and no one is seems to be getting these games. And people in the comments talk about Xbox Cloud Gaming and Game Pass, and I can't stand Game Pass. I hate that.
Oh my gosh.
Seri I
Wow.
because the games come and they go, except like Microsoft's exclusives. I'm not gonna invest in a game that I
You
know
said this,
is
I
gonna
remember
leave.
saying.
Like what I did that before and got burnt from it. So I'm not gonna spend all those hours to, invest in the game that's gonna leave. I feel like Stadia had the best model. You buy your game, you keep it. But again, like you see what happens with that shutdown,
And
you lose everything. So yeah. Anywho, I I don't like the fact that they're not getting games. I wish they can. I again 3 games bangers this week coming out, and they're not getting any of them. It's actually getting frustrating at this point.
I, hey, Clive he had his show today, and they said 1,500 games on GFN. 15. I look at you, you're like 1,500 doesn't matter.
So let me pull this up real quick. I'm gonna read you some of these games that was just announced today. So you can keep going just to keep going.
No, but I hear. I think. I mean, obviously, we're talking about the state of cloud gaming. I think we're going to talk a little bit more, but yeah, at the moment, I think cloud is an accessory. You
Ooh,
know, I think Stadia was the only one, and because I, I'll say it like this: the bar Stadia set as like all around was very high, and
yeah,
it's just not going like all the others. If they're gonna make it work, it's an add-on to something else, or it's a library of older titles.
yeah. I mean, look
So
at
look at
this.
this.
Look
Look
at
at
this.
that. Ghost
Look at this.
Recon, Oddballers, Watch Dogs Legions,
You see what I'm
Cygnus,
talking about?
Rain. Come on,
Yeah,
Ace, Rain World is a very solid title.
you gotta be kidding me. Are you serious?
Look
This
at the
literally
reviews on that one.
look at this. Look at
Oh
this.
my god! Look at. I mean,
It's
oh my
it's
goodness!
it's
Someone put their
cute.
blood, sweat, and tears in this.
It's cute. It's cute. Look at this one. What is this? Look at this. Like you give me a
This is
4080
4K. This
tier.
is 4K, Ace. Like, what are you talking about?
You give me a
On the strange
4080
alien
tier
planet.
to play
Wait,
this
go
game.
back to that. Go back to that. I
This
just wanna. I wanna know. Just and pause it.
pause it.
Right. Not keep going. Just a little bit more. I just want to straight there. Pause that. Which alien planet is not strange? I just want to know. Like I just read that and I was like, I'm pretty sure they're all strange.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure I saw that
No,
and read that.
it's yeah, but this is the stuff I'm talking. And then they give us like breakpoint. They give us watch. These games have like I don't know, man. I'm trying to not hate on
Yeah,
the
yeah,
games, but
yeah, I can hear that.
it's
I
it's
mean,
it's
I
bad.
feel like we're hearing the haunts of Stadia Pass. I feel like this is like within 365 days, you have just it's now Jiffin
It's
not
yeah,
getting the fingers.
yeah, dude. Like it's I don't know. I don't know. Cloud needs to step up. That's the state of cloud 2023. They need to step up.
So
4080 tier sounds great and sweet, but it's not it for me. I honestly I'm happy with the 3080. Just give me games.
hey, I think I hear you. I mean, I do know some games are coming out on GFN,
Yeah.
right? To a
Atomic
couple of
Heart, I think, yeah. What
Atomic Heart. I know I'm really looking forward to a game that doesn't get a lot of praise, but Arc Raiders is
yeah, yeah,
free. Yeah, it's going to be GFN. Another one is Bramble and the Mountain King. That's another one I'm really looking forward
yeah.
to. So they're going to get some, but you're right. Those bigger ones, I don't know if they're going to get. Uh, I don't think it's because of a lack of trying, right? I
Yeah.
think that um, I think cloud gaming, to tell you the truth, we're probably not going to see a lot of movement in cloud gaming as we know it
Yeah.
until the next generation of consoles.
Damn, that's a long time. We're talking about like 4 years from now, 3 to 4
Three,
years. Oh my
three,
goodness, it's too long.
or it could be soon. Is it? Is it? Because you everybody thinks next generation. Their mind automatically goes to PlayStation 6 and Xbox, whatever nomenclature we can say that's better than X. But I wouldn't be surprised if we see something from Nintendo here in the next 12 months.
Ooh, okay,
So I
okay,
mean, like, and you know, we'll probably do some more shows on this, and I would love to leading up to it.
yeah.
But we forget what is right around the corner that could give us some hints about where cloud gaming is going to be. Um,
What's around the corner?
what happens at the end of what happens in middle of March?
E3.
E3's in June. E3's
Game
in
Dev
June.
Conference.
GDC.
Yeah,
Yeah. So like, and if you're about cloud and you're building a platform, like that's where you're going to see the signals,
ooh,
right? So if you're looking at, um, I'm looking forward to hearing from the Google team, right?
okay.
Where do they see cloud gaming? I'm not saying Stadia is
They
going to come back. I'm
they
not
bet
saying
they
that.
bet they better not be there.
No, I'm not saying Stadia.
I want to hear from the Google team. They could go
No,
somewhere.
no, but right, but there is something to cloud gaming
Yeah, true.
that that to me, and I've said it before, there's a difference between cloud gaming and cloud streaming. And streaming right now is kind of like beta or Luna. We're in between those two right now.
Okay.
And obviously GFN's doing what they're doing. And a couple of others, are also out there. But I continue to say, if you're playing Apex Legends, if you're playing Call of Duty, that is cloud gaming,
Yeah.
right? And I'm really looking forward to hearing some of these things about the direction of it. But
So
right now, like
GDC, you're
GDC, like if you like, yeah, I mean, if you go to the conference, like, right, you're there, you're in California,
yeah.
um, you'll see kind of like what some of the major players are doing, and we know there's some big titles coming out that will have to utilize the cloud. And the biggest thing is, and what I mean by that is GTA 6, right?
Mm,
We know that's going to probably utilize the cloud. What does that look like? Um, what does it start to look like as, uh, I'll continue to say this, instead of cloud platforms, games as the platform. And we already start to see that now. Like,
mm,
where Destiny in itself is a platform, right?
yeah.
Or some of these games. And so, where is that going to go? Um, but as far as getting the bangers in the clouds right now, which I know what you're talking about,
Yeah.
um, I don't know. I mean,
It's
I
gonna
think
be
your
a minute.
best,
It's gonna be a
yeah,
while.
gonna be a minute.
Or 4 years down the line, we'll get those
Or
bangers.
or or we could see, who knows, PlayStation, right? Like, I think that's the big elephant in the room. What do they do with it? And we got a hint of it last year when
They're
they
not
brought.
doing anything. I feel like they with all the noise that Google Stadia were making, that was like the most that they can do now that Stadia's gone and everyone's backing off. I don't see Sony doing a thing.
I don't. I mean,
I don't know. But I hope they prove me wrong. But just knowing how traditional they are and how slow they are with like stepping into new tech and stuff like that, I think man, I think it might be a while. But
we'll see. I
yeah,
think
yeah,
we'll see. Obviously, like I said, I'm looking at GDC and
yeah,
seeing what's there. And then we haven't talked about XCloud yet, but um,
yeah. So just real quick, we'll cover Xbox Cloud Gaming. So ah Phil, what's his name? Spencer, right? He talked about like Google being the biggest competitors. And we know that again with Stadia being gone, we've seen them. It used to be back in days like when Stadia would announce something, you see Xbox announce something about xCloud, right? Trying to like one up Google Stadia, but since that competition is gone, we're not seeing that anymore. But I also feel like they are very distracted with the whole like um Activision
they're getting
Activision.
played, Ace. They're getting played. You know how
Yeah.
I feel about this one. They're
Yeah.
getting played.
Yeah. Yeah. But no, that's another thing that's going on in the background. And I feel like that's just taking a lot of the time and I feel like a lot of things is slowing down as planned just because of that acquisition. So hopefully when all that is done, we'll see Xbox pick up a little bit. But no, they need to step up a lot. Still
X
performance wise, this is
X
terrible.
X
Terrible.
and I say this. People think I'm laughing, or joking when I say this. I own three Xboxes. Since Stadia shut down, I bought three Xboxes,
Dag.
one Series X and two Series S's.
Wow,
Uh,
why?
so one to play here, and then I
Yeah,
get tired of moving when I stream, because I stream when I
yeah.
with Xbox. I get tired of connecting it, so I got an S just by my computer, so I can stream from that, right?
Wow, yeah,
And then my brother, he and I plays particularly like games like Overcooked,
yeah.
and before we could just take the controllers over there. Overcooked was on Stadia. Play that, play Mortal Kombat.
Oh, Yeah.
Now I need to go. He's like, oh, like I need something over there, right?
Yeah.
So I own three Xboxes,
Dang. That's
um, and yeah, XCloud doesn't work. I understand there's fixes for if you're working on the computer. I don't think I found one. I bought to tell you the I bought my TV to game. So I have a new I bought a Samsung in November to game. Samsung gaming hub and everything. I really don't like that
it's
that hub.
terrible.
I
It's
don't like the
terrible.
hub.
Yeah.
But XCloud does and these are their first party games,
Yeah.
right? These are the games that you would think should run
Should
well,
run well.
and
Yeah.
it takes you out of that flow state. So uh, I don't know. I think to your point earlier, you called it without that push there. But again, I think XCloud sees the data too.
Yeah.
Like
That's true.
I think they all see the same thing. I don't think
Yeah.
there's someone who's like,
That's true.
oh,
That's a good
well.
point.
So
So they all see the data and they're like, there's no point of pushing right now, right? We're just gonna stay low key and see what happens. That's a great point, actually. That might say a lot as to why a lot of these companies have fallen back. Even GFN, maybe like what I'm asking with games, they're like, you know what? We'll get it in time.
yeah,
There's no
I
rush
think
to get it right
that's
now.
the whole gaming industry, the whole tech industry. But we're talking about the gaming industry.
Yeah.
Who's going big right now?
Yeah.
Like who? Like name
It's
me
true.
a publisher. Name me a studio.
Steam
Name
Deck.
me Steam Deck. Steam Deck's going big as they
No.
announced part two. No, maybe that is
No.
it. Steam
No.
Deck is going big. That's a solid response.
Yeah. You make a good point. There's no one like really, breaking. I mean, Nintendo, for instance, we've been talking. A lot of people have been asking for like Switch Pro, and they give us like the little Switch
OLED.
upgrade. But yeah, I feel like maybe that's why the Steam Deck is so popular right now because they are, one of the few people doing something, different and taking risk and um yeah, I don't know. That's a good point though. No one is really even the tech space moving forward. I mean, you look at smartphones, they all like little increments of upgrades, nothing
Pixel.
like yeah,
Pixel.
yeah. Yeah, just little except from the Galaxy Folds, but even from the Fold 2 to 3 to the 4, it's all like little upgrades. There's nothing to write home about. So you might have a point here for sure. But y'all, we're getting close to the end of
Okay.
this.
Oh my gosh,
But
goes by so quick, Ace.
it
All
really
my
does.
conversations with you
It
go very
really
quick.
does. But yeah, this was fun and look forward to definitely continue doing this. It's good to have you on Purple. Very
Good to
insight.
see you back, Ace. Like I am. You were like purple. Like if y'all did not know, this is late for purple.
It's
Like when
really late.
we're
Yeah.
doing this right now, this is really late for
How
me.
late is it? It's like 1 a.m. for you, right? Pushing it there.
Uh, it shows 1:51 a.m.
Damn, no way. Are you serious? Nah, you're too
Yeah.
good. That's
No,
really
I
good.
got
Oh my
it's good. It's good. I'm buying a fish aquarium tomorrow, so
wow.
I was so excited, and so
Appreciate you being on that late. That's crazy.
no,
Yeah.
anytime, Ace, anytime. Thank you. Thanks for the
Th-
opportunity.
Yeah, this was good. And hopefully we'll continue doing more of these and let us know in the comments below. What do you feedback? Do you like this format? Purple, what do you do and where can people find you?
Oh my god, you gotta put that in. So what I do, I have a show every Thursday where I interview another content creator or game creator if I can get them on the show, ask them questions, really trying to figure out, who the person is behind the gamer tag or the game. And I also do playthroughs every Sunday as well. Both the interviews and the playthroughs are at 8 p.m. Eastern, and I usually stream horror games. But it's really more of just a place hang out, and we have some pretty crazy conversations. With horror game in the background, so it's a really cool time. But
Awesome.
yeah,
Awesome.
That's where you can do it.
Cool, cool. Again, great to have you on here. I will post your channel link in the description. So if you guys want to check out Purple and all that she does, definitely give it a look. Good stuff over there. But again, appreciate you being on here. And yeah, y'all, we'll catch you guys next week. Peace out.